All right. So today we've learned how to distribute, we've learned how to combine like terms. We're just going to put those two together. So sometimes expressions require both distributing and combining like terms. Since we multiply when we distribute and add when we combine like terms, we do the following steps. First, we distribute, and then we combine like terms. All right, so what does that look like? Let's take a look at that. So we know that when we distribute, when I have the number, sorry, I can't see over my fingers, when you see the number right next to the parentheses, that means I need to multiply. Well, when I have more than one term inside of here, I need to make sure I multiply all of the terms by that. You see how this is a subtracting a 3y? So this is subtraction. There's no multiplication going on here. So I need to take care of this first according to order of operations as well. So I'm going to do -4 times 8y, and I'm going to do -4 times 4. Now what I don't want to lose here is I need to make sure I bring this back in the end. I want to make sure I bring that back. So -4 times 8y is -32y. -4 times 4 is -16. And I cannot forget that I had this at the end. I have to go, oh, wait a minute, I also have another -3y there. Oh, these both have the same variable to the same power, so I need to combine my -32 and my -3y. And remember, I can always go -32y, -3y gives me a -35y. And then all I have to do is make sure I add in the constant that I found. So my answer is -35y minus 16. On our next one here, we have 6x plus 2 times the quantity. And that means I'm multiplying times everything in there again. So it's a +2, so I need to take care of this part first, and then I'll come back for that 6x. And you can always write it out front to not forget it. So I'm going to multiply everything times the 2. So I'm going to do 2 times 7y. I'm going to do 2 times 8x. Well, this is going to give me a positive 14y, and this is going to give me a positive 16x. And I notice again, I'm like 6x, 16x. They're both positive, so again, I'm going to add, and I get 22x plus that 14y that I can't forget was up there that didn't have any like terms to be combined with. Now this next one looks messy, but if you notice, I have two sets of the distributive property. So first, I'm going to distribute the 6 over this one. So I'm going to have 6 times -5y and 6 times 2y squared. In my second one, I'm going to distribute an 8. So I've got 8 times 7y squared, and it's plus 8, so I'm distributing a positive 8, and 8 times -12. So for this one, I'm going to get -30y, and this one I get a positive 12y squared. For this, I'm going to get a positive 56y squared, and here I'm going to get a -96. What like terms do I have? Well, I have a y squared term here and a y squared term here. So 56y squared and 12y squared, they're both positive, so I end up with 68 y squared terms, so I'm done with those. And then I've got -30y, and then I've got a -96. So as you get into longer ones, as you combine terms and are able to do that, you can cross them out so you don't accidentally do them again, or so you don't forget them. It's usually more likely. So once again, and I've got some stuff going on up there, so I'm going to distribute from below. I've got -5 times -9y to the 4th, and I've got -5 times 8y. I then have, alrighty, and then I'm going to do Remember, it's a positive 2 this time that I'm passing out, so I have 2 times 3y to the 4th. And I have 2 times, and I think of it as negative 5y. I'm going to take that sign with it so that I don't lose it. So negative 5 times negative 9 is a positive 45 y to the 4th, and negative 5 times positive 8 is a negative 40y. Over here, I've got positive 2 times positive 3, so I'm going to have a positive 6y to the 4th. 2 times negative 5 is going to give me negative 10y. And I combine like terms here. 45y to the 4th and 6y to the 4th gives me 51y to the 4th. And then I've got a negative 40y and a negative 10y. Which gives me a negative 50y, so minus 50y. There's 2 more to go here. This next one, I have the distributive property in the middle of my problem. So I'm going to take care of that, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring in the 19c squared and the 4c and make sure I don't forget to combine those. So I've got 2 times 5c and 2 times 3c squared. That's going to give me 10c plus 6c squared because we're working with all positives here. And then we don't want to forget that we had that 19c squared and that positive 4c at the end there. 19c squared and 6c squared, both positive. So 25c squared, and then I've got 10c and 4c. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that little 2 on there. So 10c and 4c, both positive, and so I will get 14c. Last problem there. On this one, you're like, where in the world is the distributive property? I have this parentheses, and I can't combine what's in there. What do I do? Well, if you don't see anything, you can assume there's a 1 there. Now, if I was subtracting, it would be considered a negative 1 I would pass out. But since I'm adding, it's a positive 1. Well, anything times positive 1 is just itself. So I'm going to get negative 7b squared plus 3a, and it just pulls it out of the parentheses. I then had a 2a up here and a minus 5 in the back. I only have one b squared term, and it is negative 7b squared. I do have a 2a and a 3a, so plus 5a, and then minus 5. Now, you would think alphabetically that a should be in front, but because the b is squared and it's to a higher power, it's going to take precedence and go in the front. So those are our notes for this evening. There are some practice problems on the back. Make sure you try those.